Hello and welcome to this video of mental math where we're going to talk about division. With mental math division you should be able to divide to any decimal place, convert fractions to decimals, and do it all without the calculator. Now let's start with a simple example, something that we know how to divide. How about 42 divided by 6? Well, in our heads, if we think about it, 6 times 7 equals 42. That must mean that 42 divided by 6 equals 7. And so we can write down our answer as 7. But what do we do when the answer doesn't come out to a whole number, or a round number like 7? Let's look at another example, something where the number doesn't divide in evenly. How about 42 divided by 5? We know that 5 times 8 equals 40, and so the first number of our answer must be 8. But we're going to have a remainder of 2 at the end. So we can write down the 8 and the decimal point, and then use the 2 to figure out what the next decimal digit is going to be. So hold the number 2 in your head and add a 0 to it. Now, how many times is 5 going to 20? Well, 5 times 4 equals 20, and so it must go into it 4 times. You put the digit of 4 into your answer, and you look for the remainder. There's a remainder of 0, and so there's your answer, 8.4. But what if we have a problem that it doesn't go in quite as easily as 5 and 42? What if we have 43 divided by 7? Well, we follow the same process. How many times does 7 go into 43? Well, we know that 7 times 6 equals 42, which is really close. And so we have the number 6 with the remainder of 1. Well, we write the number 6 in our answer, we hold the number 1 in our head, and we add a 0 to it. Now, how many times does 7 go into 10? Well, it goes in once, and it has a remainder of 3. So, we take the 1, we put it into our answer, and we hold the number 3 in our head. Add a 0 onto the 3, and then ask yourself, how many times does 7 go into 30? Well, 7 times 4 equals 28, and so the answer is 4 with the remainder of 2. Take the 4, put it into your answer, and hold the 2 in your head. Add a 0 to it, and ask yourself the question, how many times does 7 go into 20? Well, we know 7 times 2 is 14, so it goes in twice with the remainder of 6. Well, the 2 goes into our answer, and the 6 stays in our head. Add a 0 to the 6, and ask yourself the question again. How many times does 7 go into 60? Well, we know that 7 times 8 is 56, and so the answer is 8 with the remainder of 4. The 8 goes into our answer, and the remainder of 4 stays in our head. Well, repeat the steps. Add a 0 onto the end of the 4, and ask yourself, how many times does 7 go into 40? Well, 7 times 6 is 42, so we know 7 times 5 would be the answer. So it's 5, and we have a remainder of 5. So we put the 5 into our answer, and we hold the 5 in our head. Now, add a 0 to it. How many times does 7 go into 50? Well, 7 times 7 is 49, and that's really close, so we know the answer is going to be 7 with the remainder of 1. Well, 7 goes in our answer, 1 stays in our head, and we add a 0 onto it, etc., etc., etc. And you continue this process over and over and over again. It works for any fraction if you want to convert it into decimals, and it works for any division problem as long as you're able to, figure out the multiplication in your head and keep it pretty easy. That's the end of this video. You can see more videos of mine at Class Notes Videos on YouTube, and you can contact me at classnotesvideos@yahoo.com.